Hey everyone, Donna Merrill, UnveilTheWeb.com. So today, Donna Merrill wrote an incredible article talking about the pressing need to become an early adopter for success. So I've often thought about this, and it's a rather interesting conversation when you think about why is it that someone is willing to go to an Apple store, camp out for 24, 48 hours or more, all in hopes of just getting the new iPhone. I can even remember back in the late 90s, well, no, not even the late 90s, the mid 90s, when flat screen TVs were just coming into the scene and it might cost $30, $40, $60,000 for a flat screen TV. I'm not even sure back then they were HD or that HD even existed yet, but nonetheless, you had these flat screen TVs going for this price and there were people buying them. See, they were early adopters. Now, why would something be that expensive in the beginning? Well, when you're talking about technology and things like that, there's a research and development cost, what they call R&D expense, right? But an R&D expense, when it works together, it has a higher cost in the beginning. And what eventually happens, if you think about it in terms of a bell curve, is on the front end of a bell curve, 10 to 15% of the initial people that'll buy that product are early adopters. And those early adopters are always playing, tinkering. They want to be the first to get something new or interesting or innovative. And those early adopters will set the path for the next 60%. So in the next group inside a bell curve, inside that 60% is the bell curve is going across the top and draw a line right down the middle, right? You got your 20% in the front of it. What you will have is that 30% of that 60% will buy right off of the heels of the early adopters. Now, they're still going to pay a little bit more of a premium price, but not nearly as much as the early adopters did, because they just want to know, is it going to work? But once somebody knows it works and now there's enough buzz around it and people are actually using it, then that next 30%, when the price drops even more, they're going to be in. But it'll have to be a substantial price drop. And then on the back end, the other 10 or 20% on the back end of the bell curve, no matter how much you convince them, they're never going to buy from you. So don't even bother trying. Now, Donna's context is a little bit different. And what I like about it is she's saying that for many of us that are in the online world, we give benefits to early adopters to try our technologies or try our products or services. And so we reduce the discount so that we can drive the buzz. And that's really a smart technique, because what happens in the online world is that there's so much distraction, there's so much noise vying for everyone's attention, that when we give something away at a substantial rate for early adopters, or in some cases even free, they will pick up the mantle and drive it for us, especially if they have an influential audience that they're talking to. And so by influential, I don't mean necessarily an audience that's a large audience. I mean, when we ask somebody to do something, they do it. So that's what I mean about a person of influence. If they've got 10 people that do it who then have large audiences, think of the duplication that goes on there. And so really Donna creates this fantastic concept for us. And I really want to encourage you to read her article and check out what she's saying about being an early adopter. And knowing how much she loves technology herself and all the money and the time that she puts into discovering new things that are out there, her blog is really a good resource for you in the marketing and sales arena as you're learning how to grow your business. So I do want to put a plug in for her today. I do want to encourage you to click the link below and check out what Donna has to say.